All right. Hi. Excuse me. Hi, guys. This is Tori Magoo 44, and it is December 10th. Amazing. We're almost to Hanukkah and Christmas, which are two of my favorite times of the year. It's Christmas for sure for me. I grew up celebrating Christmas, and I really like it. It was funny this year because of all the weird things going on in America. Hey, Bridge, hi. Thanks for coming on. Because of all the weird stuff going on here, just in America, it sort of felt like, maybe we should just skip it this year. And then I talked it over with my son, and we both agreed, let's put up the outside lights. Hey, Cheryl, hi. Thanks for coming by. Merry Christmas. Thank you. So we put up the outside, he put up the outside lights and helped me with it. And then we said, well, should we do the tree or not? At first we were like, nah, let's not. Then we said, let's do it. So we put up the tree and the whole house feels so much cheerier. There's just something wonderful about Christmas lights and celebrating of, whatever you celebrate if you celebrate the holidays. To me, it was really fun. It was fun to put it up, and it's fun every time it's lit up, and I get different lights every year, so that's fun too. I'm into lighting, if you can't tell. I don't have my lights on. Let me see if I don't think you guys can see these. All right, let's see. Let me see if you can see these. I don't think you can. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. Ooh, can you see it? Probably not. Something fell. I'll find it later. Anyway, it's got a whole bunch of different colored lights going this way, and then I have some on the back I forgot to light up. But anyway, hey. Hi, Glenn. Thanks for coming on. Hi, Cheryl says hi. Thank you. Happy Hanukkah. The Festival of Lights starts on Sunday. All right. Okay. That's right. I know a friend of mine, Ben Corden, who wrote L. Ron Hubbard, Messiah, or Mad Men, lives out in Riverside, and they have a whole Festival of Lights out there that is just fabulous. It's really, really cool. I'm going to undo this because it's blinking, and I don't want to take time to sort it out. So there you go. Hey, Becky. Hi. Thanks for you guys coming on. I know it's kind of late, but I was over visiting my friend, and we watched the Puff Daddy, Diddley, whatever. I don't even know his name. Hi, D5. Ooh, from Australia. Cool. Enjoy Australia. It's only 6 p.m. there. Wow. But it's 6 p.m. tomorrow, right? Like today for us is Wednesday, right? Is today Wednesday or Tuesday? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's Wednesday. But I think for you it's Thursday. Yeah. Diddley. Yeah, that's him. Hey, Eric Levay, or Levette. I apologize if I say it wrong. I'm just going to say hi, Eric. Hello, Tori and all. Oh, from Culver City. Okay, then I know it isn't Levette. I don't think. But anyway, say hi to your parents and wish them happy holidays from me and to all of you guys. Okay, be on for John. Be on for John. Okay. All right. And Eric, it's Levette. All right. Okay, and Glenn says that Sunday electricity bill. Oh, the Scientology electricity must be high. Yeah, truly. Except Drew thought, it's not impossible that they plugged into the city lights and they're using their electricity. I know they probably would say, we'd never do that, but I don't know. We saw them hooking something up that looked fishy. And then Spanky and I watched half of Wicked. But then I said, I got to go because I wanted to see you guys. So we'll see the rest tomorrow night. At Scientology. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, Adam. Hi. Your conversation with Ish was great. Thank you. I loved it too. I really did. If any of you missed it, please go back and watch it. It's really, he's a very, very good speaker. I would say watch 1 and 2 because the first one is very educational about the Nation of Islam and the connection of Scientology and how long ago it started. Hi, June. Thanks for coming by. Hey, Blink 182. Fangirl. All right. There you go. Yeah, thank you, Adam. I wanted to mention that because I really, really enjoyed it. It was he's a great guy, and I've enjoyed him online for years since we met. But it's been really fun. I met him in person in Las Vegas, I think a couple of years ago, and we had a big SP convention, and he came. So I got to meet him there in person, and then I interviewed him once, and then this is the second time. Didn't Spanky audit John Travolta? She must know. No, she didn't audit him. Spanky's not really an auditor. She worked in PR with Yvonne, so she was definitely, a handler for John Travolta and a terminal, a person to talk to and stuff like that. But she wasn't his auditor. I helped train him, when he first got in, before Welcome Back, Kotter. In fact, he got that while he was on course. And I think that's why he thinks Scientology is, the bee's knees. And I wish he'd come out. I really do. It'd be so much fun for him. It'd be so good for him. Would love to see Spanky here too. I know I mentioned it to her and she's going to do it. It's just not yet. She's not ready yet. So we'll see. She's busy doing stuff. Yvonne is the only Scientologist no one has a bad word up for. I know. That's very true. I mean, everyone I know who ever knew Yvonne loved her. And she was a really wonderful person. I mean, years later, people say good things about her. Glenn says, is his sister Ellen Travolta a Scientologist too? I don't think so, but I don't know. So don't count me on it. I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. Hey, Zach? Hi. So thank you guys for coming by. So the question tonight is Scientology, is it really as bad as it's posted? And people ask me that a lot because, there's so much negative stuff on the internet. Now, there's also their whole how wonderful it is and come on in, we can save your life. But yeah, it is as bad as it's posted. The people that I know that are speaking out are, telling their stories, and it's based on their experience. It's tricky because it's like a trap, and I say that all the time, but I want people to really get, just like a mouse, you have to put some good cheese in there to catch them. But once they get in there, they're in there, and you got them. And that's exactly how a cult works. They've got some good cheese, and they get you in there, and then you can't get out. It's sort of like the Hotel California. You can check in, but you can't check out. All right, so, oh, Antics of a Mama Squirrel, hi. And Psych Cater, hi. That's a good name. Adam, I modded you on my channel and sent you an email. Oh, well, that was nice of you. And D5 says they're brainwashed to think that everything on the internet is lies and not to look. That is very true. And that's what makes Scientology worse than most other cults, because they start that from day one. As soon as you buy a course, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to. You immediately had to learn Keeping Scientology Working, and that is all about how you have to stay on the path. So you're kind of trapped. Adam, I wish Scientology could be sued for concealing the Xenu story. It's outright fraud. Well, you're right, it is fraud, but it's covered in the Constitution for religious freedom. It's not religion. See, that's the thing. I mean, it is under one of the definitions. Someone finally took me up on that years ago, and I said, okay, on one definition of religion, it is, and it kind of anybody could be a religion the way it is in the dictionary, but it isn't really per anybody who's thinking of a religion. It's not Scientology. Scientology is a business. It's a covert, mind control, fraudulent business pretending to be a religion. That's what it is. Hey, a voice down under. All right, good. Okay, good. And Adam is going to check Mama Squirrel. And Glenn Payne, I drive an hour on Hibbert almost every day. Wow. Why are all the Sea Org members running all the time? They're literally just running up and down the street and across it. What's the rush? Well, excuse me. My guess is usually the guys that are running are on the RPF, which is, their kind of prison camp. When you're routed out of the Sea Org, you're not still in the organization, you're out of it, and they have to run all the time. That's one of the things they have to do. So that's what I'm thinking. That's the only thing I can think. I don't know unless Miscavige started some other running program. They've had running programs in the past, and they're awful. But if they're Sea Org, my guess is it's the RPF. Listening to you while I'm working. All right, a voice down under. That's cool. And Jasras 5003. It's just Diddy now. Okay. It was formerly Puff Daddy and then P. Diddy. But Diddy, as you said, is fitting. Yeah. So that's it. Anyway, we watched the whole documentary, and it's just frightening to see that somebody could go through all of that, do all of that to people, and then only get 50 months in prison. But there are 77 cases still pending, so that's good. But if you guys haven't read Tony Ortega's site, also, apparently, good old Church of Scientology, now because Miscavige or the guy in the White House is letting all kinds of criminals go, they dove right in and, okay, we want to get Danny free. Danny Masterson, who's been through trial and everything else and has almost a lifetime sentence, but they're going for it. But anyway, it's at Tony's site. You can look it up. I think it's from a few days ago. Let's see. Adam says they tell people there are no aliens. Then OT3 rolls around and lumen aliens. Yeah, it's a tricky thing with because, of course, Hubbard said if you find out about Xenu and the aliens, ahead of time, you could get pneumonia and die. And I was actually at a Baptist church behind Flag in Clearwater. And I went with another guy who both of us used to I volunteered. He worked at OSA. And we were there. And there was an OT who was, and this was a great plan if anybody ever wants to do it. He went through kind of the Bible, Hubbard, and a quote from Hubbard, a quote from the Bible, and how opposite they were, right? And he was basically going to go around to every church and educate the minister that was running the church on Scientology and their abuses, and then let the minister talk to the congregation about it, which is a great idea. So we were in the Baptist church for one of his first things that he did. Of course, Scientology paid him off immediately and got rid of him, which was a shame because it was a really great program. But this guy, the minister, it was so funny. It had to be at least 500 people in the audience. And he's reading, the Bible, Hubbard, and they're kind of laughing, and it's kind of pathetic, really. And finally, he goes, "Well, do you all really want to know what they believe over there at Harrison?" And everybody goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, I've got to warn you ahead of time. L. Ron Hubbard said you could get pneumonia and die if I tell you this ahead of time. So if you want to leave, you can leave now." And everyone just bursts out laughing, the whole place. And I look at Frank Oliver, who's the guy that used to work at OSA. And we both look at each other. We're like, oh, dear God. There's got to be OSA people in here now. And, they're hearing these people just laugh at them. It was really cool. But anyway, they paid the guy off, and that was it. That was the end of that. But I always say to people, if you ever want to do something, that would be a great project to take up again. Because when you think about it, educating the minister that's a great way to have them then educate the audience. I mean, it was amazing to watch. Okay, now Elvis asked, why do they always run? Like I said, the guys that I don't know if they have a new program for running. So that's number one. They used to, when I was in the Sea Org guys running meant they were on the RPF, which means they're off staff, they're off post, they're not on post anymore. They've done something bad, and now they're out working half a day and studying half a day. And while they're out working, they have to run. They can't walk and they can't talk to each other. They have to keep going. So, hi, Nathaniel, Christopher, and your fellow night owls. That is right. And Sieglin, hi. I remember running on that when I was doing the purification rundown, right? That's another one, but this is Sea Org. It was the first step before the sauna. Yeah, true. They did have that in the Purif, but that's usually the public now. They don't really have the Sea Org out running around like that. I don't know. Were you in the Sea Org when you were running around like that outside, and what year was it? Nathaniel says Tory, rather. Thank you. Thank you for correcting the spelling, Tory instead of Tori. Thank you. Wow. Yo-yos. Thank you. I guess I got a super sticker. That's what they said. Here you go, $9.99. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, I appreciate that. Adam, the stream is an insomniac's dream. This stream is an insomniac's dream. Yeah, that's how Midnight Magoo was. It was always great because everybody who was up all night But also I got people from other countries who were waking up and they'd say, "Yeah, I have breakfast with you every morning." So that was fun. It's just it got too late for me. That's why I don't do it often. Um, Nathaniel, I like that I'm not the only person wide awake at this hour. I know. I know. Yeah, there's a bunch of night owls. This is a good group of people. I love night owls. I really do. I've been one my whole life, so there you go. All right, now this is, pardon me for my glasses, they're kind of weird tonight. Mazak, all right. 30 in chat, 12 thumbs up. Come on, you all. Thank you. So please hit the like button. It does move it up the thing, just so you know, and then more people will see our conversation. So it's important to hit the like button. Thank you for mentioning that, though. I appreciate it. D5 Melbourne. Okay. Hey, T, a voice down under from the other side of the country. Aw, I want to come to Australia. I really do. And New Zealand. All right. Thumbs up. Good job. There you go. All right. And they didn't give the same lenience to R. Kelly. They gave him 31 years. Okay. Well, I think Diddy had a lot more money, is what it was. Thanks for the reminder. I just hit the thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah, that helps. It does help when someone comes on and reminds people. It really helps the algorithm if people like the video during a live. There you go. Hi, Dee. A voice down under. That's so sweet that you guys are both there. All right, now Adam says Scientology's lack of connection to any conventional religious tradition gives it cover. People don't know how to classify or relate to this system. I honestly think it's more the Constitution. It's kind of like they are under our government. They've said they're a religion, and so they're covered because of freedom of religion. So, it's kind of one of those things. I really think we have to get their taken away. I really do. I think that would be the biggest thing we could do. It's coming, David Miscavige. Okay, Glenn Payne. Yes, shortcut down L. Ron Hubbard Way and avoiding the lights on Vermont is quick. Plus, no traffic is ever on the street. Are the buildings on the east side of LRH Way Scientology owned? Feels cozy, feels crazy for regular people to live there. Yeah. It used to have more apartments, and Scientology has over the years taken them over. So they pretty much have pretty much all of, I think the first house by Sunset, that used to have a lady who was a real activist, and she would come out whenever we'd protest, and she had big Xenu signs on her fence and stuff like that. I think they finally paid her off. That's what I think, because she's gone. I don't know if they just rent it out or what. I don't. But yeah, it is weird how the one side is definitely all Scientology, and the other side is sort of, it used to have IAS used to be over there, but they moved that. So it's mostly, I guess, apartments, but it is unusual. And Nathan, I'm in the same time zone as Tori and Big Blue. Good. That helps. That definitely helps. Then we get to comfortably see each other. So that's good. So did any of you guys have any questions or comments? LRH Way looks like a haunted Hollywood blackout, just like downtown Clearwater. It's really true. It's frightening how it's just dead. Especially for I'm sure Sieglin understands because she was in it years ago also, and anyone else who was, it used to be just bustling and people and, cars and all kinds of stuff. And now you see it every time I go on it. I'm just like, I can't believe there's nobody on the street. Nothing. It's really, it used to be they had to get everybody off the street because the SPs were there. Not anymore. There's nobody there anyway. Truth about drugs or the Citizens Commission on Human Rights. Okay. All right. How can we educate our elected officials about the dangers of Scientology front groups? Bingo. All right. Narcanon. You can educate them on that because it doesn't really work. And I would refer to does it matter? It doesn't matter to me, does it to you? Which is Rib Guy, because he used to work at Narcanon. So I think he would be a good person to talk to about that when he's on there. The biggest one, I think, is applied scholastics because they're trying to get that in all the schools. And that's the study tech. Now, the study tech originally I loved. It was pretty simple, and it was, looking up words, and it had a system, but it wasn't a bad system. But they've turned it into, it's just crazy now. And so, and also it is to make it L. Ron Hubbard look like this really nice guy. Well, let's go into Scientology. That's the reason for the front groups. The other one is Way to Happiness, which they, try to put wherever. And that's, you can do the Bible and it has the 10 Commandments, which is close enough to Way to Happiness is just kind of copying that. So why pay any money for it? And it again, because they try to get it into schools, and that's a crossover of church and state. It is. Do I date? Becky asks. I will date. It depends on who it is. I'm not dating right now, no, but I have, and I will. We need an antisocial. I know. I agree with that. Drew years ago got me to go through the Scientology Citizens Commission on Human Rights, that CCHR, and as much as I had been in Scientology and all kinds of stuff, I had never gone in there. And I said, well, I can't go in there. They won't let me in. And he said, they will. It's just some old ladies that work there. So we went in and it was awful. It's awful beyond awful. It makes a horror show look like kindergarten. It's really spooky. You start out in a padded cell. They put you in a padded cell. That's the beginning of it. And they show movies of just these horror things that don't happen in, now. And it's really pathetic. But yes, I came out of there, and that was my first thought was we should put a building right next to CCHR with all the abuses of the Church of Scientology, regging, roping in the young kids to billion-year contracts, fraud, taking people's money, not giving it back, not working, lying to people, fair game. You can lie, cheat, steal, destroy someone utterly, all that stuff we should put, you could have it just like CCHR. You could copy it and do it. I think it'd be a great idea. I really do. Because Adam, I keep bringing that up because that is Scientology, an industry of debt. Good, really good. That would be perfect to have next to it. Please keep bringing that up because I really, that was my first thought when I came out of there. I don't get sick to my stomach, and I almost threw up. It was awful. It was just awful to see the stuff that they were saying psychiatry does. It was like, oh my God. And it's so awful. I know, and I've told you guys this, but I know 17 young people. And if you are a young person and you're thinking of taking your life, don't. And I mean it. I mean, it's like people don't realize the ramifications of taking your own life. It has, but it goes on forever. People still are talking about, and this was 17. I'm sure there's more, but that was 17 that I knew personally. And, they probably wouldn't have if they could have gotten mental health, but they can't with Scientology. You can't do that. And Scientology doesn't work. So there you go. Glenn Payne, what do Scientologists think of the protesters? They're, bad news. They don't like them at all. Who does the church tell them they are? Big Pharma? Who do you think they were when you were inside? Now, remember, they sent me out to handle the critics starting in 1979 in Clearwater because we'd moved to Clearwater. So that was my original thing. And I was like, what am I going to do? There were like thousands of cars driving back and forth, honk out Scientology, stamp out Scientology, all this stuff. Anyway, I did end up getting the guy voted out of office. I didn't do anything bad. I just talked to people and said, look, come on. We're not bad people. And the people in, for the most part, are not bad people. They're just brainwashed. But I couldn't say that because I didn't know that back then. But who do they think the protesters are? Just mostly they say, oh, they just heard. They're believing all these lies that are on the internet, and don't go read the lies on the internet because blah 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 blah. They have other reasons why you should never look on the internet about Scientology. And so they kind of brainwash you more about that on not looking, which is another thing I always tell people. If people tell you don't look, go look. Because I mean, if it was true, why would someone say you can't look if it was true? They wouldn't, because it's true. But it isn't true. So anyway, they just think they're people that are sort of like Scientologists. They're brainwashed and they don't know what they're talking about. They've never done any courses, which is true for a lot of people that are protesters. And not that they don't know anything, because a lot of critics know more than Scientologists. So that's not true. But it is true that they haven't done courses, thank goodness. And so for a lot of them, not all of them, some of them are ex-Scientologists. And they definitely, but even then, they have all kinds of lies about every single person who was in Scientology and left, every single one. If they're speaking out, you can find lies on them. Just type in their name, type in my name. They have all kinds of stuff. Oh, she abandoned her husband. And I had an affair, and I went around to every single organ. I'd say, okay, your church is saying I had an affair. I didn't. So I want someone to handle this. And I went different places, ASHO, AO, LA org, Celebrity Center. I just kept going around and around and around talking to the staff. And they finally, someone on YouTube told me, they said, guess what? They took it off. And they did, because it was just a flat out lie. But all of the stuff they have about me are lies. But, that it's just stuff that they make up so that you sound bad. And they pitch that to the people. So if someone said, well, wait a minute, I saw Tori Christman, she was out there, what's the deal? They'd say, well, come in this office, blah, 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 blah. Here's this. And did you know this about her? And did you know that? And that. And anyway, they just go on and on until you go, oh, I didn't know that. Okay. And then you're handled. That's it. So that's what they think. And they may pitch Big Pharma to some people. Who did I think they were when they were inside, when I was inside? I think I kind of bought the line that they were people that didn't really understand Scientology. That was the thing. I didn't ever think critics were bad. I just thought they didn't understand it. And I figured if they would understand it, then it would be good and we could come together. Not really true, but that's what I thought. Um, okay. Cheraz, how do you feel about goat cheese on a pizza? I only ask the hard hitting questions. It's funny that you mentioned that. I don't know about on pizza, but because I don't eat pizza that much, but I love, one of my friends just gave me some goat cheese from Trader Joe's with cranberries in it. Oh, it's delicious. It's really, really yummy. And I think they just have it during the holidays. So anyway, that's how I feel. I don't know about um, pizza, but thank you for your hard hitting question. Okay. And D from Down Under. All right. What do you do to educate other churches? We have churches right next to C of S orgs. They seem to know nothing. Yeah, that's another one that I'd have to figure out a way to do it, but it probably can happen. I don't. I haven't. I mainly do my thing with Drew that you can see where we just talk to the neighbors. But I might start it next year. I might talking to the churches. But I know immediately Scientology will be there, and telling them all kinds of horrible stuff about me and not to listen to me. So we'll see. I'm not going to say it, and they will do that. They probably already have. Anyway, um, but that's a good plan for anybody who's a critic who wants to help out. That's a really good plan because they don't know you. So that would be good because then you could educate them without Scientology jumping in. Sieglin, it's it's anchovies and pineapple from me. Okay, I don't like anchovies, but I love pineapple on pizza. I do, and I love pizza. I could eat. That's why whenever we have pizza, I have 2 slices, and I said that's it. And people always say, "Oh, keep it." Like if I had a party, keep it. No, I go, no, all the food has to go because if it doesn't go, I'll eat it. I know me. All right, Becky, just asking the nosy question. All right, Adam, maybe we could create some kind of mobile museum. That's a good idea. That is a very good idea. That is a great idea, Adam. Yeah, a mobile museum. And then we could have different people drive it around and get out and talk to people and pass out pamphlets or that'd be good. Really good. We could have big signs on the outside of it. All right. Now, that's a good keep on me on that, Adam, because I really like that. I love the mobile van. I'm going to write it down. New Scientology. That could be really hot. Okay. I went undercover at the CCHR exhibition in Melbourne. It was horrific. It's on my channel. Yeah, exactly. So go to Dee's channel and you can see it. I mean, it is horrific. It's awful. The only fun thing about it was afterwards there were all these kids in the lobby. And I thought, oh dear God, don't tell me all these kids are coming to see CCHR. And so I thought, well, I'm going to ask them. So I said, are you here to see this building and see what's inside it? And they said, oh God, no. We were at the music studio down the street, It's just these guys have better air conditioning. That I loved. I thought that's really good. Would love to see D5. Yeah, me too. Sieglin. But what about the cheese? I bought a frozen goat cheese pizza for $4.99. Wow, at the grocery outlet. Wow. I'll have to check that out because we have a grocery outlet right around the corner. All right, now, Nathaniel. All right. I went into their psychiatry pop up and probably convinced them of the importance of seeing a mental health professional. I shouted really loudly about their fraud and abuse, made a scene. Whoa, all right. Interesting. Autism plus indigestion is a bad mix. I would say I think you're probably correct on that one. This okay, good. Is D5 Melbourne? Okay, good. Thank you for posting that a voice down under. That's good. So D5 Melbourne. Good. Let's put it in the notes. So it's at D5 Melbourne. I think I got it. See if I got it right. Did I get it? No. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, I'm way behind. All right. No, they don't believe in autism. They don't believe in epilepsy. They thought Dianetics and vitamins could help me with that. I work on a station that makes the pizzas and salads, Sieglin, where we use goat cheese on one of our salads. I'll try it sometime. I'll tell you, try the Trader Joe's goat cheese and cranberries. It's really good. Nathaniel, no, they don't. All right. And Nathaniel says, "Welp, they probably do now." They equate psychiatry meds with meth addiction. Yeah, pretty much. Sieglin, that's a great idea. A mobile, that is. It really is. Let's stay on that because I really think that would be primo and very effective. And we could go all over the place. Elvis. All right. My cat's name. My old cat. The brief they wrote about Danny is a hoot. Thanks. Okay, good. You mean the Tony Ortega's one? Yeah. D5 Melbourne. Okay, good. We got it. All right. That van ought to have air conditioning. Good point. I think we'd have to have heating in the winter if it's at night. But it'd probably be in the day. In the daytime, you're fine. Yeah. Just in the summertime, you need the air conditioning. But that's a good idea to have the van. I mean, vans are big here. The food vans are jumping. How are they in Australia? Do you have food vans in Australia? Because they started out here. I remember my son was working somewhere, and there was like an entertainment thing in the back. And so I was watching it, and I came out at like 11, and he said, wait till 11:30. And I said, what happens at 11:30? And he said this van with, I think it was Brazilian meat. it was like Brazilian sandwiches, comes, and you'll see it's going to be a ton of people. And I said, how would they know how to come? It was in Altadena, which is like there's Pasadena, and then all the way up Lake Street is Altadena, which just burned down. That was the place where it burned down. But man, there were 1 million people. I mean, I'd never seen so many people. They were all the way down the block. And I started interviewing them because that's my thing. You know, I got to find out what the hell brought you here at 11:30 at night. And they'd say, this guy sends out texts to everybody. And we just send it around, and then we all come here because the food is so good. And that was the first truck I saw. And now they have lobster, and they have all kinds of trucks. Okay, I like feta cheese. A voice down under. Fresh basil leaves and sun-dried tomatoes on my pizza, and sometimes an egg. Ooh, okay. I like everything but the egg, and I like pineapple. All right. Tori, did you get my message about Dave Griffiths? No, I can't find him anywhere. Do you have an email address for him, please? Dave. First of all, it's Pete Griffith or Dave. I don't know if you mean Dave, my friend in Australia. That's not Griffith. It's Dave. God, I'm so bad with names. Dave. I can't remember his name now. Wait, I'll remember it. I'm going to turn if the Office of Special Affairs comes and visits. Takes a minute. Dave. I can't believe I forgot his name. It's so good. I need a little bit of basil, though, not too much. I gave you a line, D5 for psych video. Oh, good. Dave Gibbons, that's it. Thank you. A voice down under. That is it, Dave Gibbons. Woo-hoo. Thank you. That's it. It's not, the other one is Pete Griffiths, and Dave Gibbons is on Facebook. You can type him in Dave Gibbons, and he's on Facebook. And just send him a message and say, you know, you're part of my YouTube site, and I think you live in Australia, right? And you can say whatever you want to say to him. But he's a good communicator. He is. Thank you, though. Thank you, A Voice Down Under, for mentioning Gibbons. Yeah, I couldn't remember it for a minute. It was just like, Dave. He's a great guy. I really like him a lot. He's really, really kind and funny, and his wife is great. They have a wonderful relationship. It's really great. It's been wonderful to know him, and I've never met him in person. You know, it's sort of like Ish. I didn't know Ish for a long time, and now I just feel like he's part of my family. I'm really happy to know him. And again, if any of you missed his part 1 or part 2, I would really recommend watching him because he's very educational. He really, and he backs up everything he says. So he's got proof of it. Hey, Tori in the chat. Connie B, all right. Thank you for coming by. Make sure to hit the like button. All right, so how many likes do we have now? Can someone tell me? Going to bed? Becky, the nerve of you. How could you go to bed with the night owls? No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to bed soon, too. All right, so good night, sleep tight, and have a wonderful day tomorrow. And thank you for coming by. All right, so there's 36 likes and 39 people here, so that's very good. Very good. There's only a few people who didn't like. And that's, hopefully they will. And hopefully more will come on after we say goodnight. were Owl Ron Hubbard. No, I'm not putting my name with that. Love the color of your blouse, Tori. You always look so nice. Thank you. I try to. I really do. I grew up with, like I said, my mother was a model, so she looked beautiful all the time. So it's kind of, I grew up with that. I used to love to watch her get all dressed. And, she always looked really pretty in the day. And then at night, if they went out or something, she'd get really snazzed up. And she had this really fun dressing room, and you could go in it. And, she had all kinds of jewelry and hats and gloves and dresses and makeup and stuff like that. And I'd just sit there and watch her. It's just like, wow. It was just so fun to watch her transform, from kind of day to night. It was fun. It really was. Thanks. I have 9:30 surgery. Okay, Becky. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you for your surgery. And I had mine, and it's so far doing well. My little skin cancer, I had it removed. 3 slight influencers, out ethics lurkers have not hit the like button. That sounds like fun watching your mom. I know it really was. It was fun. It was like really, I had a wonderful childhood. It was really, really great. And she was a big part of, well, both she and my dad. My dad was really cool. He was a professional athlete, and he was like, I'm going to teach everybody, including me. He said, I'm going to teach you every sport. And a lot of kids would say, well, I'm not any good at basketball or ping pong or whatever. And he'd say, that's okay, because nobody's good at something until you learn how to do it. So I'm going to teach you how to do it. We're going to practice it till you get good. And then once you're good, you can decide if you want to do it or not, which is a great way to raise kids. It really is, because then you have all these skills. And we were like this competitive family. I mean, we had these ongoing ping pong contests. And it turned out, my brother just told me recently that the head ping pong winner of Illinois, of our state, lived in our town. So she would come over and give us tips and stuff like that. I remember my last job, they were all like 20, 30-year-olds. And they had a ping pong contest. And I said, well, I put my name up there, and they said, you're going to join the ping pong contest? And I was only I think I was 59 or something. I was just turning 60. But to them, that was like dinosaur time. And I said, yeah, hell yeah. I'm good at ping pong. And I came in second. The only person that beat me was a Chinese girl who was really fast. She was really, really good. But I played with my brothers all the time, that and basketball. I remember once going to, I think I've told you guys this, but if you weren't here, at the end of L. Ron Hubbard Way is that hotel. And on the roof is a basketball court. And it used to be the Sea Org were in that hotel. And so the Sea Org were up at the top, and I had parked my car in there. And I went up to get my car, and they were playing basketball, and I said, hey, give it to me. And they said, you? And I said, yeah. And I turned around. Let's say the thing to put it in is behind me. And I would go and go right in. They couldn't believe it. They were like, wow. But my dad was good at teaching us, and my mom was too. They both were really fun to grow up with. My mom was really big on having parties, and her thing was like, I know you guys are popular because, of course, you are. Your dad's a professional football player, plays for the Chicago Cardinals. We live in a nice house. We have nice cars. You guys are nice looking. But I want you to find people that are not popular, and you're going to teach them how to dance. And she would teach us how to dance, number one, and then how to teach other people how to dance. So everybody was included. It was really cool. Everybody, if we had a dance party, everybody was included, and she expected everybody to be dancing, and they would be. And it was really cool because nobody was left out, not anybody. It didn't matter who you were going to be dancing by the end of the night. And that was fun too. There you go. Oh, wait, there's a starred comment. All right. Oh yeah, for my sticker. Thank you for giving me that. I really appreciate that. Thank you. All right, you rascals. Well, it is almost an hour. So you have a few more minutes to hit the like button. Or ask me a question if you have a question. Now, where did all your comments go? Oh, okay, there they are. Oh, I see, because I had it under the star. Okay, there you are. Yeah, it was fun. It really was fun. I had a great childhood. I always say, because, my dad died when he was 51, and my parents moved from the town where I was super happy up to this kind of wealthy, I felt kind of snotty. I mean, other people have told me it's a great town to live in, but it wasn't for me, mainly because I lost all my friends in high school, and that wasn't good. So I always tell people, if you're going to move early. Don't move. I mean, move while your kids are young. Don't move when they're in high school, because it was a nightmare. But I always say I had the best foundation in the world. The rest of the house, it was like iffy, but I made it through it. Magoo, dancing in Boston is my favorite dancing clip. I know. I love that one too. I really do. I mean, and you know what's fun about that is that was a surprise to me. I thought Bunker was filming Stacy and Bob. I had no idea he was filming me. So when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my God!" It's very, because it was me 2 weeks after I'd escaped out. So you can still hear how brainwashed I am. It's like Scientology believes in communication. No, they don't. You and I know they don't. They won't ever. In 25 years, my only terminal, they declared me a suppressive person. And this is from Pete Griffith, because he always says, if I bring out my SP declare, they get to all take a shot. Anyway, on the back, it says her only terminal is the International Justice Chief via the Continental Justice Chief. That's by the Church of Scientology. They will not talk to me for 25 years. All right, there might be trouble ahead. Okay, Adam. Hey, Tori. Stella from Clearwater here. Hi, Stella. Have missed watching. No, wait. I lost you. Ooh, wait. Hey, Tori, Stella from Clearwater here. Hi, Stella. I've missed watching you. I don't usually stay up this late. Oh, okay. But you can always watch it later. All the one, like, watch the ones by Ish. They're really good. They really are. There might be trouble ahead. Okay, what's the trouble, Adam? A voice down under. Okay, I found Dave Gibbons, but it won't allow me to send a message to him because he has it set up to not accept messages from people he doesn't know. I sent him a friend request a few weeks ago. Okay. Well, I'll try to send him a message saying that you are trying, and your nickname on Facebook is a voice down under. I'll send him a message as soon as we get off tonight, and then hopefully he'll get in touch with you. Okay. You can dance through life really well on a good foundation. Exactly. That's the way I feel. It's like it's like anything. If you have a really good foundation, you can get through a lot of stuff. Eric, I saw a YouTube a few days ago of a blue building and they tore down the Scientology sign. It looked like it was an AI video. Really? Wow, I'll have to go by there. I'll call Drew and see if we can go by there Friday night. Wow. Interesting. Thanks for letting me know that. All right, Adam, that was the opening song in Magoo Dancing in Boston. What was? I don't know what the opening song, but anyway, I'll always thank Bunker for that. I talked to him today. I talked to Mark today. He's doing well. He's a good guy. I really like him. All right, kids. Well, it's after 1 o'clock, and I'm trying to keep this just an hour. That was definitely on AI video. I think it would be all over the news if it wasn't. Okay, so you don't really think they tore down anything? You think it's just an AI video that he saw on the net? That makes sense. That makes sense. I bet that's it. Emma Goldman said, "A revolution without dancing isn't worth having." Exactly. Exactly. Thank you. C.O. Biff, I thought that was Oscar Goldman. I don't know. All right, kids. Oh, about a revolution without dancing isn't worth having. Well, whoever said it, it's a good quote. All right, good night to all of you. Sweet dreams, or have a happy tomorrow if you're into tomorrow. And thank you for coming by. And hopefully I will see you Friday night. All right. Goodbye. Good night. I love you guys.